Hello everyone, welcome to the course Rainwater Harvesting. In this course, we're going to be talk about what is the rainwater harvesting is, what are the various components are involved, and the methodology for rainwater harvesting. Also, we're going to talk about how we can size and calculate the overall water potential that can able to harvest in a specific system. One by one, we're going to be see what are the different kinds of topic that are being covered in this course. First of all, we'll talk about the concept of rainwater harvesting, how exactly the rainwater harvesting works. We'll talk about the various benefits and the purpose of rainwater harvesting, why the municipal corporation, various governments are nowadays focusing on the rainwater harvesting. As we know, the today's water demand and the level that we are facing. We'll talk about the water cycle, what amount of water is available on the earth, and why there is a need for the rainwater harvesting implementation project everywhere. Similarly, we're going to be talk about the rainwater harvesting methods. Like there are two methods, surface runoff and rooftop rainwater harvesting. We're going to be talk more about in detail about these two methods. We'll talk about the surface runoff rainwater harvesting, how the surface runoff we can able to harvest to recharge the existing aquifers in the specific catchment area, and detail will going to be talk over here. Similarly, we're going to talk about the concept of rooftop rainwater harvesting, how exactly the rooftop rainwater harvesting works, what is the difference between the surface runoff and rooftop rainwater harvesting when we do the design of the two systems. We'll talk about where and which are the positions are there. There we can install the rainwater harvesting. Like we have a residential apartments, schools, colleges, stadium, malls, everywhere we can install the rainwater harvesting over the particular catchment area. Similarly, we're going to talk about in this course regarding the calculation of rainwater endowment of the area. How much amount of rainwater potential will be there basically. When we talk this typical rainfall is falling on the typical area, considering the overall area and the coefficient factor, how we can calculate the overall potential of the water can be harvested in meter cube, we're going to talk. Also, we're going to see some technical parameter regarding selection of the rainfall data from where we can get it. Selection of the surface coefficient, as the rooftop area is made up of an concrete material, tile material, corrugated metal sheets material. The pavement will be there, rail yard will be there. For a different kinds of an catchment area, how we can decide the coefficient factor for it, that also we're going to be see in this course. Also, we'll talk about more in detail regarding the rooftop rainwater harvesting, regarding the components which are been involved. Like we'll talk about the catchment area, what are the different types of catchment area are been available, how we can design the gutter downspouts and its types, material and its selection procedure we're going to talk over here. Also, we'll talk regarding the sizing of horizontal and vertical downspout pipe whenever we are designing the rooftop rainwater harvesting system. We'll also focus upon the leaf screen and the roof washers where it has been required, what is necessary for utilization of it. Similarly, what kind of a different conveying systems are there where we have to use the pump, where we have to design the piping system. That overall parameter we're going to talk over here. Similarly, we'll focus upon the systems and the storage tank and its calculation of the storage tank. Depending upon the what is the exact requirement of the consumer is, based upon that requirement of an consumer for dry period basis, how we can able to decide the size of the tank which is required to store the rainwater. We'll also see the various types of the filter that can be used in the rainwater harvesting, like the sand filter, charcoal filter, sponge filter, piping filter, and what is exactly the filter mechanism works and how we can work out on the piping system also. Similarly, we're going to be see the fundamental concept of first flush diverter system, which is necessary for rooftop rainwater harvesting system. Similarly, we'll talk about the methods of rooftop rainwater harvesting, how we can safeguard the rooftop rainwater harvesting, or we can harvest through the various kinds of methods. Like we can go for the storage for direct usage, how we can go for it, recharging the dug well which is already been available, how we can recharge that particular dug well using the rooftop rainwater which is harvested. Similarly, the construction of an recharge pit, recharge trenches around the surrounding environment of an building, soakways and the recharge shaft which can be utilized, percolation tank, the size of an percolation tank and the overall working of the percolation pit also. We'll talk about the surface runoff artificial recharge system and its classification. When we talk about the surface runoff, there is a variety of the systems can be possible. The water can be harvested and can be used for recharging the aquifers or the bore wells, or to increase the water table or groundwater level of the surrounding. Here we're going to focus on some of the important methods like a ditch and furrow recharge system. What are the fundamental concept in that? Recharge basin, what are the points are been involved when we talk about the recharge basin? Bench tracing also will going to be see how we can design and how we can work on this bench tracing. Similarly, we're going to focus upon the field contour trenches also, at which level we can utilize this field contour trenches and how we can effectively utilize for the irrigation purpose and other purpose. Contour bunds and what are the fundamental concepts are there in the formation of contour bunds. This also we're going to see. We'll also talk about the gully plug and the check dams which is required, where we have to install such kind of an dams. Surface irrigation pond which is being constructed in the farmland, and how we can just do this particular parameter and working of it. Similarly, we're going to be see the design of rooftop rainwater harvesting system. In this design, we're going to do some mathematical calculation on what is the basic endowment area is there, how much amount of the rainwater potential is there on a site, how we can design the storage tank, how we can design the gutter sizing, horizontal and vertical downspout pipe, and the filter selection. This particular parameter we're going to talk over here. Similarly, also we'll talk about the artificial recharge system for rooftop rainwater harvesting. To design the settlement tank, we'll see the various material used for settlement tank and the calculation for selection of the settlement tank in this particular case. We'll also talk about the case studies of existing surface runoff rainwater harvesting system which has been installed. Like in New Delhi, this has been installed. In some of the other case study also has been installed. What is the purpose of it? What is the benefit the people has got after the installation of it? Thereafter, what is the aim and objective of it, and how the overall water potential we can calculate when we are designing the surface runoff rainwater harvesting system. I'll going to welcome you in the course. Let's start the course.